Okay. Hey, Jess. Sorry.
Now I'm unmuted. Hey, how's it
Okay.
going?
How are you?
Super great.
Good.
How about you?
It's like daytime there because
I
like it's
know.
pitch black here.
It's gonna get dark pretty soon, probably. But
Yeah.
it looks good now. I'm hiding from the children in the backyard. So
Oh, my kids just went to sleep, luckily, so hopefully they don't hear me and come like Lorelai will come out of the room if she thinks I'm doing something without her.
you're doing something important, right?
Yes. So I'm super excited. It's crazy. Like I think it's been almost 4 weeks since we saw each other in Montana
I know.
already.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. So I'm just super excited for our teams to get to hear us talk together and share tips and to learn other stories from all of this. So welcome to our Zoom tonight. And let's see, we have 30 people and that's really awesome. So I guess we're just going to go through, I don't know, Jess, if you wanted to go first with sharing your story and then I can share mine or whatever works for you. We're going to just share a little bit about ourselves and our rank and, how we got to where we are and all that kind of good stuff. So go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, I can totally go first. So I got started with It Works 3 years ago. Oh, is this something?
I'm not sure who that came from.
Oh, okay. I'm like, is this like me?
I don't think it's you.
Okay.
Just give it 1 second. Okay, you should be good.
Okay, we're good. So I got started with It Works 3 years ago, the beginning of this month. So I've been doing this for a while. I got started I was working as a nursing assistant and newly married, and we found out we were pregnant with my first daughter when we were almost 4 months along. So it was kind of a big surprise. And I worked up until the day before I had her, never prepared, and then instantly just quit my job to stay home with her. And we struggled like crazy for a year while I was trying to do every little thing I could think of on the side, trying to do anything I could think of. And when my daughter turned a year old, it was a few days before she turned 1, I found It Works, or It Works found me, I guess. That's what I would say. I was just Facebooking when I was supposed to be working and came across a page about It Works and asked about it. It was not something I'd ever thought of doing. Super shy person, super introverted. And so, but we were in a really tough spot and I was sick of doing what I was doing. So I gave it a shot and basically gave myself no other options. And so I just pushed myself. I pushed myself to get, my 2 customers, then my 4 customers, then start working towards a Christmas bonus. And I just continued pushing myself and I got to diamond in 6 months. I went double a year after that and triple in March of this year. And I have definitely found my passion. I never thought this was what I would be doing at all, but it's helped me be able to find myself a little bit and helped our family be financially free. So I love it.
Your story, it reminds me of my story. We didn't really get to talk much about that, like on the leadership retreat, but I think we have a lot in common, more than we probably realize as far as stories go. So thank you for sharing that. I think a lot of people can relate to not it sounds bad to say that like this was kind of our last option, but in a way it is because we tried to fix what was going on in our life and the struggles and to get an income that was going to help us, really help us, and it just didn't happen any other way. So okay, so I guess I'm going to share a little bit about my story and my name. I can't even speak my name because I just got married in June and I never say it out loud, my new married name. So it sounds really weird. So I feel like I'm lying when I tell people my name now. My name's Natalie Harmon. I started May 31st of 2014. took me about 30 days before I actually jumped on board. And I'm the kind of person that asked probably like at least 100 different questions to my enroller, every single thing about the business, because I couldn't afford to, put that money in. We didn't have the $99. I couldn't afford to put that money in and not know what I was getting into. And even still, if you can mute your phone or your computer so we don't have any background noise too, please. Hold on one second. Okay. So, I felt like I couldn't afford a mistake, or I couldn't afford to fail at something. And so, I really asked a bunch of questions, and I'm just a very cautious person, and I wasn't even going to bring it up to my fiance at the time, because I thought, like, what am I, crazy? Starting something like this. And I am not a salesperson. I actually had my real estate license before this, and I absolutely hated it. I hated pressuring people into, buying $300,000 houses, and just being away from my family, all of that stuff. I'm just not a salesperson. I'm also introverted. I'm not a super social person. And I didn't have a big circle of friends or anything like that. So I was like, how the heck am I going to build this business? So I mentioned it to my fiance. He, at that point, we were struggling. Like I tell people we were struggling, but I feel like even these days, the depths of how we were struggling it was just terrible. We were on government assistance. We were on food stamps, and we were living paycheck to paycheck. John worked 2 full-time jobs. I didn't see him. I was working a part-time job trying to keep things afloat, watching our 1.5-year-old at home. And, so he's like, you need to just try this. If it popped up on my Instagram, my enroller commented on a picture on Instagram, and it kind of went from there. I saw she was making great money, and I was like super skeptical, asked her a million questions, probably annoyed the crap out of her. But so I jumped in, and something just in my heart and my gut said, you need to do this. You have to do this. This is what you've been praying for and been like begging for an answer. Like, what path am I supposed to take? Because I'm sick of going down roads that are not really helping us. So I took a leap of faith, and I pushed one of our bills to join. And I started just going with my business instantly, posting on Facebook. My upline was 750 miles away from me, and that didn't discourage me. I held my own launch party in my house, assigned my first 3 customers, which were actually family members, and, got my 4th customer, my 5th customer in my 30 days, and I just kept running. And I figured out everything as I went along. I just Googled it, I YouTubed, I did whatever it took. And let's see, 5 months in, I went Ruby. It took me a little while to get there. I wanted to build stronger. And so 5 months in, I went Ruby. I lost Ruby the next month because I didn't really understand what I was doing as far as promotions went. The following month, I gained Ruby back, and that was December of 14. And then in, February, I went February 2015, I went Emerald. March, I went Diamond. And then in April, I went Double Diamond. And I strengthened my team for a good year. And then in March of this year, I went Triple Diamond. So, this business for us, it took us from like the worst place we could have imagined being to a place I never thought we could be. And it was all because, we took a chance at this. So it's absolutely incredible. It changed our life. It's changed, like Jess said, I feel like it's grown me into the best version of me as a person, and, brought friendships into my life. I remember joining thinking like they would talk about fun. I don't know if you remember, like they talked about fun, freedom, and friendships and all this stuff. And I was like, I just want money. I don't want friendships. I don't want fun. Like, I don't need any fun. I've got a 1-year-old to take care of. I don't need fun. But all of those things came out of this business, and I've met some of the best people out of it, including Jess. So it's been amazing adventure.
Yeah, I just want a second. Like, we were talking yesterday about the place we came from and like thinking about where we were after we had our daughter, and I just instantly was like, I'm quitting my job. Like, there's nothing, I'm just doing it. And just thinking about like how bad it was. We were on WIC because I couldn't breastfeed. We were, you know, we were having our family like give us handouts, trying to like feeling bad for us. It was so rough. All our bills were pushed out months. Like, we had to get loans to pay off our bills. It was horrible. And thinking about that, we made it through. And I think a big reason why I was successful, and I think you would probably think the same, is that this becomes there's not any other options for you. Like, there's not any, like, you have to make this work. And so when you have the attitude of like, I'm going to make this work, not I'm going to try this and see if it works, that's when you're successful.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think it's almost, and not everybody comes from the same story. Not everyone that joins is struggling. Not everybody joins for exactly the same reason. We all join for a little bit different of reasons. For me and for you too, it seems like it was like sink or swim. It was like, this is it. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I don't care what discourages me. I don't care, what customer stops ordering. I don't care about anything. I'm just going to like keep my eyes on the prize and move forward. And I think that whether it's that you're struggling or, maybe you don't want to be at your permanent job full time, or you just want other options, or you want to have a big savings account, whatever it is, if your reason behind it is strong enough, there's nothing that can hold you back.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
So, do you want, let's see, how do you want to do this? Do you want to, we didn't really discuss order or whatever. How do you want to do our questions? I'm going to kind of answer some questions for you guys.
Yes. So I have top questions for my team. Do you want me to start? I'll just ask you.
Okay. Totally fine.
Okay. One question that my team asks a lot is kind of, mosquitoes. It's kind of like, how much time per day do you spend dedicated to your business?
Okay, so when I started in this business, I was working another job part-time. So I kind of worked around it. And even still, like I was so excited about It Works that I was like working in between doing this other job. Like I probably shouldn't have, but I felt like I had like gold in my hands. I couldn't put my phone down. I was so excited. So, now I have, when I started, I only had my daughter. She was like 1.5. And now I have a second child. He is 16 months. So, it's really busy. It's chaotic, and I'm not a super organized person, honestly. So, I just work my business. I don't know if I could put an hourly thing on it. I work it throughout the day. I work it into my life. So if that means getting up in the morning, 30 minutes before my kids get up, and getting my follow-ups done, or getting a post up, or doing something like self-development, I do that. And I just work it throughout the day. Even if I was still working a job, I would be working it, on my breaks, or at home, I'm working it, in between feeding the kids. I'm working it, taking a picture of what we're eating. I kind of just give it enough effort, and, so that at the end of the day, if I'm going to, when I'm going to sleep, if I feel like I didn't put enough effort into my business, then I'm not going to bed yet. So I would say that probably is if I totaled it in and crammed it up together, it's at least a few hours a day. But it kind of seems like, being a full-time with this and at home, I do kind of work it throughout the day, all on and off around my family. So I definitely dedicate time to it as if it's a full-time job, because it is our full-time job now.
Yeah. I think the most important is like, even being top leaders, we don't sit and spend 8 hours a day on our phones. Like we I work my business around my kids. So if my kids need lunch, I put my phone down. Or if, they're having a tough time sleeping, I put my phone down. But whenever I get the extra time, you know what I mean? And I think that's my team probably, I think a lot of people kind of think, well, you must be doing this all day long. You must never stop. We do it because we're passionate, but not because I don't think my family or my kids suffer from not having my time because I'm always working, which is so nice.
Yes. I totally agree with that. Did you want to just go through all the questions for me first, or so we don't go back and forth between each?
Okay. The other one is, how do you stay motivated? How do you keep yourself motivated?
Okay, so I guess that goes back into one, my reason for doing this. Being around my kids, and actually is your husband, I'm not sure, Jess, is your husband, does he work outside of the home, or is he home full time?
Yeah, he retired about 6 months ago, and then he kind of went back to work part time.
Okay. Oh, but you're familiar with this like full-time family deal and all that. Mm-hmm. So, oh my gosh, I totally forgot the question. The question was,
how do you stay motivated?
How do I stay motivated? How do I stay not distracted? That's the thing. So, my husband is full-time at home with us. My kids are here, and, my why has always been my reason for this. So they're my biggest motivators. I look at them and I think, how could I not get up and work today? How can I not get up and reach out for more today? And, there are those days where, even sadly enough, maybe we had a down day or a down week or whatever, we need a little extra motivation. So that's when I always pour in to myself, and I plug in, and I, whether it's just like YouTubing a top leader or another leader that I find inspirational, watching a video, reading a book that motivates me. I'm reading this really good book, and I don't even know where it is right now. I think it's called The Power of Intention. It doesn't matter what rank you get to in this business, whether you're at distributor level or diamond level or ruby level, there is always going to be more that you need to pour into yourself. And there's always more to learn. And so whenever I feel like I need a little extra motivation, I just pour back into myself. I dream harder. I remember what I haven't gotten out of this yet that I still want for myself. And I think that when we stop pouring into ourselves and stop developing ourselves and feeling all that fire, that's when we pull back away from our business.
Definitely. I love that. Yes. Okay. How do you find runners for your team? Like, how do you find people that are motivated and working?
Okay, so everyone wants to know that secret, right? Like, how do we find the people that really want this? Like, we want this. I don't think, I kind of write down, I've done this from day one. I don't remember where I read it or heard it from, which leader I heard it from, but I remember somebody saying that they would write down a list of qualities that they want in their leaders, or that they want in a business partner. Because that's really what this is about, is having a team of partners or business partners. So I write down lists, like qualities I want to have in the people that I bring onto my business. And I really focus in on that. And I don't know, I kind of really believe in, putting out into the universe what you want to receive back. So that's one part of it that I do. The other part of it is really just working with people that show you they want to work. I think that there are a lot of people that might, sometimes people run from the get-go, and then sometimes people need, they need a little extra pull from us. So I know there have been some of my teammates where I saw so many amazing qualities in them, and they were doing so great. And just by reaching out to those people and letting them know, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm here. I see what you're doing. I see how bad you want this, and how much you're working, and all of that stuff. I think that we can almost develop leaders a little bit even more. So it's really just about focusing and paying attention on my teammates and, seeing who really wants this. Because if somebody reaches out to me and says, hey, I really, really want this, I'm all in, then I'm going to run with them too.
Yeah, definitely. I love that you say like develop leaders, because I feel like I wouldn't even have considered myself like trying or ever being capable of being a leader when I started, but now I feel like I am. And I think that it's the same thing with everybody else. Everybody needs to learn how to be a leader.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And just to add to that really quickly, I always say this to my team too, like, and for you, I'm sure it was the same way, and when we start this business, we don't jump in thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a leader instantly. We just start wanting to grow and some income. So leadership definitely, I think, comes with time and experiences and all that. I mean, I think even when you get to triple diamond, you're still learning like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Or, how do I become a better leader? So I think it's definitely a developed thing to a degree.
Definitely, for sure. Okay. Okay, one that my team asked was, how do you decide what to post throughout the day?
Cool. Okay, so that's actually, one of my favorite things about this business, really. Before I did this, I also did photography. And I did like some wedding photography, and I've just been a photo person for years. So I think that, I just love sharing pictures. I love sharing my life with social media and putting my kids' faces out there because they're adorable, and or at least I think so. And so as far as what I share goes, I feel like I just share whatever is in my heart that day. I really put my emotions out there. I really try to think outside of the box and be creative with my posts and not just post what I see everybody else posting. I try to be a little bit different and be true to myself. And it really just comes from my heart. If I'm writing something and I feel like if I was reading this back, it wouldn't do anything. It wouldn't touch me. It wouldn't affect me. Then it's probably not something I want to put out there. And I guess that's it. Really, it just, I never want to feel stagnant with my business. I always just want to push for a little bit more or reach a different emotion that I haven't reached before. If it's an opportunity post or, sharing how this business has changed my life. I always just try to think, what would affect me if I was looking for an opportunity like this?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, there's like dogs barking.
It's okay. Oh, it's dark on you all of a sudden. I didn't even notice it like instant.
I know, so fast. I'm going inside in a minute. But anyways, okay. Okay. Charting. Do you recommend to build wide or down?
Okay, so
I know
it is a hard one. And my answer is kind of in between. I remember for months in the beginning, I was kind of just what I would do is I would fill my chart. So let's say, in the beginning when I was charting for Ruby, I knew I needed 3 people on my top line. And then, one of those people needed to have 2 people under them. And so I filled those boxes. And then if I saw that there was somebody that was not working, like on my top line, I just replaced that box. And I kind of just, I feel like I built wider. Well, I didn't build really wide, but I built until I felt like I had people that were working. And then I built below those people. So, I guess it's a mix of both. It's a really hard question. I'm not the kind of person that wants to just build, on my top line over and over and over again and just wait and see what happens. I do a little bit of that, but then, I want to develop people that are working at this. Even if if they don't come out of the gate running, that's okay too. But if somebody shows potential, then I'm going to, ask them if they can match my efforts and maybe, help build under them. That's what I did in the beginning to build under, to create leaders. does that answer that question? It's kind of
yes.
a hard one.
I mean, that's almost exactly what I would say too.
Okay.
Like, I feel like what you're doing in the beginning is you want more money, and that's what we're working for. So, getting to Ruby is going to get you some extra money, but you also want to make sure that you can stay at Ruby. So building strong, that's usually what I say. Build strong, but so I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, my last one. I think my last one. Yes. Okay, what is your biggest business mistake, like something that you feel like maybe you would have done differently, and how?
Okay, so I couldn't think of anything. We went over our she like briefly sent our questions out to each other like minutes before, literally, so we didn't get to prepare much, but I was like, I don't know an answer to this, and my husband was sitting over there, and I asked him, like he's my advisor or something, and so not that I haven't made mistakes. I've made lots of them. I feel like if you're not failing at something at some point in this business, it's like you're not doing it right, because it just happens. We make mistakes. We learn from them. The biggest mistake I think I made was I really built my network, because I built my business like 98% through social media. And when I started, I had like 140 people on my Instagram, which were just Facebook friends, like high school people that didn't even care what I was doing, or people I went to high school with. And so I started building my network on social media, and I built on Instagram really, really, really fast, and just was like every single night following people during the day when I could. I followed people in the morning, and I built so fast. And then I felt like I had so many leads. I was signing, I was completing my steps of success every month, or at least getting close to it, sometimes surpassing that. And I guess the momentum built up and my leads built up over time because of that huge initial networking, that I slowed down on growing my network, and I slowed down on following new people, because I had all these leads coming in. I was like, oh, it's good, right? And so I slowed down on that part of my business, and it took a long time. It was like a year and a half into the business, and all of a sudden I was like, man, where are all my leads going? What's going on? Is it Instagram? Is Instagram not working anymore? And I think a lot of people were experiencing that at the same time, because a lot of us built on Instagram at the same time. Mm-hmm. And it's not Instagram, and it wasn't, there was nothing broken. It was just that I chose to put my attention on other places, and not one of the most important things. I mean, this is network marketing. If you're not getting new faces to see what you're doing, you're not building your business. So I learned that I need to do that consistently. It's not something you can just do 1 week and stop, or for 2 months and then stop. It's something that has to happen all the time, or you're gonna run into like a low. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that I learned in this business, is that you have to do those things consistently. You have to grow your circle consistently, or you're just advertising to the same people day in and day out, and it's not helping your business.
Yes. Oh, I love that one. That was good. Okay. I think that's all the questions I have for you.
Okay.
Unless I might think of more, but I think we're good.
I know. I feel like there's always so many good things to talk about, and like, doesn't matter how many videos you watch or whatever, somebody always says something and you're like, oh, I never thought of that before,
Yeah. Or in that way, or yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So questions for Jess, and then I guess we'll open it up when we're done and see if anyone wants to ask anything else too, and put us on the spot or whatever. Okay. Okay. So Jess, what is your top income producing behavior that you do in your business?
Okay. So I would say, I even wrote like 5 seconds of notes, but I would say that my top income producing activity would be asking people. I've tried to make myself a professional asker, because if I'm not asking people, how do I know if they're going to say yes or no? How do I know if they're going to be the next runner on my team, or my next customer, or whatever? So I spend time, like, 15 minutes at a time or whatever throughout my day messaging people. And I get some no's. I get some people not messaging me back, I get some yeses. And if I am, messaging people every single day, and continually talking to all of those people, that's what's growing my business. I get new leads every day. I get new people that are interested and maybe sign now, maybe sign later, but I'm constantly messaging people.
I love that. I think that is, it's the same as like following up. Like if we're not doing that, who's going to do it for our business? If we're not asking people, then we're just sitting with our hands empty basically. So I love that answer.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, we both had the same question. So let me skip past that one. No. Actually, this is the same as what you asked me kind of. What is the one mistake you wish you hadn't made while building your business?
Okay, I have a definite answer for this one. So I started my business and I was looking to make an extra, maybe like a couple $100 a month to help out. Didn't really expect to make any more. So when I reached Diamond, it was like far surpassing anything I ever thought was possible. And so I got to Diamond and I was like, this is awesome. This is great. This is all I could ever have asked for. And so I got really content with where I was at. I was grateful. I didn't need more than that. I felt like it had been given to me and I just kind of got like, just content.
Yeah.
And so I sat at Diamond, even though I was super close to double, I sat at Diamond for a full year because I was good. I was good with it. I was helping other people. I was still working, but I didn't push myself. And so when I finally got to that month where I was like, what if I could retire my husband? How cool would that be? Then I started pushing myself again because I had a new reason and I immediately went double. And then I was like, double, $6,000. Who needs that much money? That is insane. Like, I don't understand. And my husband can retire. This is crazy. And so I did. I got comfortable again. I got content. I got comfortable. I was fine with it. I didn't want to be greedy. I didn't want to whatever. And I did the exact same thing. And I sat at double for a full year before I went triple. And it was the same thing. Well, what if I could, do this? What if I could do that? And I changed my why up a little bit. And that's when I went triple. So as soon as I went triple, I was like, this is not going to happen to me again. So I just I've been continually pushing and growing myself and working with my business. That's the one thing that I would tell people is don't get comfortable, go Diamond, celebrate for 24 hours, get super excited and pumped, and then get back to work and keep going. Get out your new chart. That's what I would say. That
is such a good thing. And I think that goes for even if you're not at Diamond or you're not at double, like even if you're at executive, like maybe you really just want $200 or $300 extra a month to put away into savings for, paying vacations in cash every year, and you think, oh, I don't really need this. I don't really need that. I think that it's so important to change up your why and to realize that, I know when I hit triple, I had the same kind of thing. I was talking to my enroller and I was like, nobody needs this much money. And I think when you come from a place of just wanting to pay your bills, you don't have big dreams of a fantasy house instantly. You just want to have the pressure taken off, that it is hard to look at those higher incomes and be like, I need $15,000 a month or I need $10,000 a month or whatever it is. And so when I hit triple, I had the same thing, why nobody needs this much money, and reevaluating your why, thinking about, oh my gosh, how much money could I give back to people if I make more, or how many family members can I help better? Or, it's not always about us too. It's there's so many things we can do with, reaching higher ranks. And I did the same thing at double. They say, what is it that they call double Diamond? That they call it the dirty rank or something.
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
They call it something like that because it's so easy to get comfortable at double, because it's at Diamond, you're okay, this is freaking awesome. And then if you hit double, when you hit double, because you're all going to hit double, it's that's a ridiculous amount of money for one person to be bringing in. And it's I don't need more than that. And so a lot of people get kind of comfortable because they're just this is winning the lottery. It feels like, So I think it is important to reevaluate your why. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the other question I had was, how do you motivate your teammates?
Okay, so I wrote down, this is the one that I was like, I need to write these things down because now I can't see it.
Oh, you're in the dark.
For real. My kids are going to be so sad if I go in there.
It's okay. You can stay in the dark if you need to. I did it for and I was like swatting mosquitoes off of me the whole time.
That's exactly what I'm doing, but it's fine. Whatever. Okay. So how I motivate my team. I run with the momentum. So I think the very first thing I would say is communication. So like when you're first when you first sign somebody up, I'm like talking to them all the time. I'm learning about them. I'm communicating with them on a daily basis. And then, when my team started growing bigger, I got my own team page and I was posting in that all the time. Even before that, I had a group message that I was posting in all the time. Right now, I have a group message with my leaders. I'm constantly in contact with them. I'm constantly talking to them. So communication is huge. I wrote down in letting them know that you're involved in something bigger. When I went to my first OTOM, I was just going because my enroller told me to go, and so I went. But I realized in that moment that this is not just about making a couple extra $100 a month. This company is crazy. It's insane what this company does. And when I felt like that, it was like all of these people in this room, I don't know who they are, but I feel so connected. And then last year was actually my first year going to conference and just feeling like, I can't believe that I'm a part of something so amazing. This is wow, I never thought this would be me.
Look, I'm tearing up listening to this. It's just
and I don't know. So I just feeling that connection. When I started too, I didn't have friends, you guys. I had my baby really young and I didn't have friends. My friends from high school weren't at that point anymore or yet. And, so I didn't have people around me. In this business, I have my very best friends in the entire world are part of this business. And I love them so much. And having that connection with all these people, I can't even explain it, you guys. It's crazy. So that's one thing that's motivating. When I sign a new teammate, if they're close to me, they are coming to my house. We are hanging out. We are going to the movies. We are chatting about business. We are whatever. Because this business is all about friendships, fun, and freedom, and that's what we do. I'm talking so much, but I'm so excited about this one. Okay, shouting out your team. When I first got started, my enroller was like, bam, Jessica just booked her party. Bam, she got one customer. I'm so excited. She got her free product. She got this. She did this. And I was like, I am so good at this. Guys, it took me 20 days to sign my first customer, and it was my mom. And I was like, please. And it was fine because I felt so accomplished, and I think people work for that accomplishment. They work for, it's exciting. I love that still when people are like, I just listened to the Zoom and Jess was so cool. And I'm like, yes, I love this. It makes me so okay. The other one is setting goals. When at the beginning of the month, I pull out my steps to success and I encourage my team to print it off because that's what we're going for. That's what we're working for every month. And if we don't have that set goal right in front of us on our mirror, on our fridge, in our office, we don't know, we're not motivated. Well, what do I have to do? I don't know. I'll wait till the end of the month. So that's really motivating. I work really hard to give my team the tools that they need. So on my team page, I have tons of stuff. Anything that was motivating or good information for me, I put on my team page. I'm going to share that with my team because they need that. They need that motivation just as much as I did. And just constantly learning. I love Product Coach. I learn something new every single time I go on there, and I'm constantly trying to figure new things out, and I encourage my team to do the same. because it gets exciting. Like I started taking the probiotics and I started learning more about it. And then I had like crazy, amazing results. So I started learning and I started telling people about that. I got so excited about it. And that's motivating to me. That's motivating to my team. And then the last one is leading by example. Sorry.
No, I love it.
The last one is leading by example. So when I'm working, my team knows that I'm working. I'm posting, I'm messaging, I'm telling them what I'm messaging, I'm telling them what's working for me. So I'm constantly, working my own business, and in that creating momentum because my team is seeing me work my own business. I don't want them to look at me and say, well, she didn't post for 2 days and she's successful, so I guess I don't need to post for 2 days and I'll be successful. Nope. I post every single day, whether I am having a great day or a crappy day, because that's how we grow our business and that's how we be serious about it. So that's my little spiel. Sorry, that was so long.
No, that was so good. And oh my gosh, like so many good things there. The last thing, I think it is so important. I mean, I know we've probably all had some experience in this business where we're like, well, that person's not doing this. Why should I do it? We need to be what we want our teammates to be. We need to show them what this business takes. And it takes work. It takes consistency. Like you said, there hasn't been a single day, even on my wedding day, even on the day I gave birth to Johnny, there hasn't been a day that I didn't work my business. I was posting right after I pushed the baby out, we do take time for our families, but this is what we do. We work the steps that we need to do every single day to produce results. And if we're not doing it, then we can't be saying to our team, hey, why aren't you doing this? We have to lead by example. So I love that. And I was so shocked because I thought for sure I was going to ask you that question and you were going to say the thing that we've all heard before is that, you can't motivate your team. You can inspire them, which is so true in a sense. But you gave so many good answers that are, they are motivating things. They are the things that maybe leaders don't get to talk about enough. Those are the things that we do as leaders, sharing information, sharing knowledge, leading by example. Those are the things that we do that do help to motivate our team. We can't make somebody work this business, but we can give them, all the right tools to be able to do what they really want to with it. So I love those answers. It was so awesome.
Yeah, I fully believe that you can't motivate, but if you're doing all of these things for somebody and they're still like, oh, I can't do it, it's too hard, whatever, then obviously you're not going to spend a ton of time with them. But at the same time, like, everyone deserves this. This is what I got. And if I wouldn't have got this kind of motivation, I don't know that I would have made it this far. So I definitely think everybody needs some,
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think, and it's such a good feeling, like whether you have 200 teammates or 10 teammates or 2 teammates, it's such a good feeling to know that you're helping somebody. Like, why not? Putting out all that good is just going to bring more good back into our world too. So, I feel like you and I are kind of the same way. Like, we just give out to people because it makes us feel good. And I think that makes for really strong leaders, people that pour back into their team. So, okay. So what are your biggest tips for attracting distributors?
Okay. Sorry for this giant dog fight that's happening. Oh my gosh. Okay. So my biggest tips for, all right, I'm gonna go So my biggest tips for signing people. That's what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of, it's the same thing. I said attracting just because I guess it's kind of like attracting, I don't know. I guess it's different than signing. Signing is more like how you get, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
A shower and not a bathroom.
Okay. So I would say, I hope you can hear me over there.
I can hear you. You're louder than the dog, so you're good.
Good. So, okay. So first thing is I try to make myself personal. Like, I am me and there's nobody else that's me. So when people are coming to me, I'm making my own posts. I'm talking about my own story. I'm talking about my, results from the products and that I use them. So that people know that I'm actually passionate about this. I'm not copy and pasting. I'm not talking about everyone else's story and how it's so cool for them to be them, because if I did that, then people would want to sign with them, not me. So I feel like my biggest tip for that would be, being yourself and showing your passion. I have people that when I'm asking them about this business, I have people that tell me, I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I've been watching you for this long, or I see all these It Works people and you make me feel so motivated, and it's just because I'm being me. I even have people where I ask them, have you ever thought about making some extra money from home? And they're like, you know what? That's not really what I want to do. I'm not interested in that at all. But if I ever was, I would come to you because you motivate me, you inspire me. And so I think being your own self, and, like I said before, I wasn't like hot stuff. I wasn't cool stuff when I started this business. I wasn't. And I didn't have a ton of friends, and I wasn't popular. I didn't have all of these people wanting to hear what I had to say. I had to build that. But, being myself and people watching my story, and from, I just need a little bit of extra, to, oh my gosh, we just paid off all of our loans, to, I just retired my husband, to, guys, I make $10,000 a month. I'm super cool. Like, people are following me. People have been with me from day one, and they watch me, and they know me. They don't know me from everyone, like me from copying everyone else's posts. So I think that's probably my biggest thing.
I love that. I think I feel like that's kind of where my success came in with this business too. It's like, if you are trying to be somebody else, like, why would that person sign with you over, 10 other yous or whatever, and I think that a lot of my teammates that I've signed have said the same thing. Like, something stood out to them. And usually it's because you're being genuine and you're being yourself and sharing your life, nobody else is you, like you said. So I love that. Okay. Let's see. Last question that I have written down. Best tips for growing your network.
Okay. I would say I am constantly growing my audience by, like on Instagram, I'm following new people all the time. On Facebook, I'm adding new people. But not only am I adding people and following people, I'm also interacting with these people. So I'll go through and on Facebook, I have like a category on Facebook that's my like new friends and my, potentials list, basically. And I'm going through that and getting to know these people. So I'm commenting on their stuff, oh my gosh, you just had your baby. I've been following them since they've been pregnant. So I'm talking to them about that. What name did you choose? I'm, when they post a funny meme, I'm commenting on it. So I don't spend a ton of my time doing this because, I spend more time with income earning, whatever. But I do like to create that relationship so that when I do talk to them about the business, or I do talk to them about becoming a product tester or whatever, they know who I am and they've been following me and they see me. I also like to post things that are relatable to people. Last week or the week before, I don't remember, but I was attempting to fold my laundry. And so I was just sitting there and I'm like trying to get to a point where I could fold my laundry because it's so hard. And so I posted about it. I had so many people that were like, oh my gosh, I feel the exact same way. I posted about this box that I keep for all my socks that I never put away. And so people were like, oh my gosh, I have a box for my socks too. And I never put them away. Like, I try to relate with people and kind of build that relationship. So
Yeah, those are great tips because I mean, it is about that. Like we can't just post, hey guys, I'm looking to I'm looking to fill the next 5 spots on my team. Who wants to make some extra money? Like that's really not going to get people. But if people are already thinking of you and you've already connected with them and, they know your family or they know your heart or they know your sense of humor or whatever, like if they're looking for an opportunity like this, they're going to pick you over, the other 10 people that are posting that they need somebody to join their team.
Yeah, exactly.
So I love that. I don't know. We got so many good questions answered here. Do you want to see if anyone has any questions? We can open it up and let them ask us.
Yes. Yeah, you guys, if you have any questions, just write them in the...
Oh, yeah, in the chat. I forgot I put that there. Let's talk about, before somebody comes up with a question real quick, let's talk about briefly, because I know both of our teams are working towards something really huge. You're doing...
Yeah, the getaway.
Okay.
Like, am I announcing this with no?
So is that okay to talk about?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so both of our teams are working towards this incredible retreat, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's just talk about, I'm like trying to like be careful because I don't know what, who knows what. But let's just talk about Montana just for a minute because I don't know if it was, I don't know, I know what my experience was. I know what my husband, what his experience was going on this retreat and being with Missy and Kenny and like, I expected to get a lot out of it, but it changed me in ways I didn't realize it was going to change me, like little things. And like for you, what did you come back from Montana with?
I think in general, hanging out with people that are, going for the same goals and like there already and where you want to be and everything like that is just, you realize that all these people are normal people. You're not like this, it's amazing that you made it because you're normal, but everybody else was like crazy good at this or something. Like I hang out with Missy and Kenny and they are like top 6 or something income earners. I can't even remember, but they're just normal people and they have their quirks and they have their craziness and they have their normal life and whatever, but they just are consistent with their business and they work it. And I think you get that feeling whenever you hang out with people that are like, you feel like you're in this exclusive club and we're all, it's so cool, but anybody can be in this exclusive club. It's not just
not like just the lucky people or like there's no luck involved, there's no like I don't know what your background is, but for me, like I don't have a college degree. I was in college I can't even remember 2 or 3 times I attempted, I never finished even my associate's degree.
This is crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm nobody special, other than I was sick and tired of being sick and tired and, went for it. And I know one of the moments that stuck out for me was when we went, like you guys, we were like 4-wheeling up a mountain with millionaires. Like who does that, right? Like I would never have thought that would have been an experience I had in my life, being with these amazing people in this amazing place. And like when we got to the top of the mountain, we went way up to the top of the mountain for lunch. And I remember Missy was just asking us all like what we wanted, what more we wanted. Cause like Jess was saying, you kind of get comfortable. Maybe it's Ruby level that you get comfortable at, or maybe it's diamond level and you get comfortable thinking like, well, what else do I need? I don't need this. I don't need that. Or, and I kind of struggled with that. I think you did too a little, Jess, didn't you? Like trying to figure out what is it that I want? What more do I want? And she really pushed us, like as silly as it sounds. I think it was later that day or something. Missy had her Louis Vuitton bag, or maybe it was earlier. I think it was before that. And she's like, do you guys want to hold this bag? And the guys are looking at us like, why do you want to hold this bag? What is wrong with you? And it was just like, it was a mental thing. It's like, what does this feel like to you? What can this business give you? What things that you thought were never within reach are within reach. You just have to believe it. And you have to put it out there. So she really pushed us, I think, to like dream bigger. That's the whole experience was like, dream bigger. What do you guys want? What does Jess want? What does,
and it was like specific, like, okay, what do you want?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't need this bag. Like, this is not, I can buy a $30 bag at Target and be just fine. But at the same time, it's like, but wouldn't it be cool if you could?
Yeah.
Like, if you had the option, wouldn't it be cool? And you're just like, I mean, like if I had it, I would use it. You know what I mean? Like it's really cool, but you just feel almost selfish or.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about big vehicles because we were up there and I think Sarah had said she wanted this car and I was like, but all I can think about is how much gas money it's going to be to put into this big vehicle. Like what a waste or what a pollution killer. Like, you know, and that was just that's my old mindset of like scarcity or whatever. And I think that that's a struggle for me too, is like, you know, this isn't just about me. It's not just about having a big paycheck. It's about like, what can I do with that kind of freedom? You know, what can I give to my children with that kind of freedom? What can I give to others with that kind of freedom? Like Missy and Kenny, they have this retreat home to bring people out to, and, you know, they're giving from the bottom of their hearts. They're giving out to us. They're feeding us lunch and dinner and breakfast and coffee and, you know, they're giving back. So it's just, I think that's the biggest thing I took away from it was that, you know, dreaming bigger is not a selfish thing. And we need to have these like detailed goals. We need to know like, what is it you want? It's not enough to just be like, I want to, you know, have a decent amount of money. You really have to figure out what you want out of this that pushes and drives you.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So I think we have some questions here and we'll try not to be too much longer because it's been like about an hour. Okay. So Taylor wants to know, Jess, if you don't, hold on, let me read this in my mind first so I know what I'm saying.
I know. You don't consider commenting on Facebook posts income producing, then
okay.
For those activities. Okay. So what is considered income producing? Is that what you're asking? I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that's a crucial part of your business is building those relationships. I don't think you make money by commenting on people's Facebooks, but it is crucial to build those relationships. So when you're building those relationships, it's a step in the right direction to, you know, messaging these people and asking them. On Instagram, it can go super fast. I've followed people on Instagram, liked 10 of their pictures, asked them a question on a picture, and then immediately messaged them, hey, you look like somebody who's a lot of fun. Would you like to join my team? Or, you know, have you ever thought about making extra money at home? You know, it can be that quick. So but, go ahead.
You don't consider that cold messaging? Because I feel like people have different definitions of cold messaging, and I never know what I feel comfortable with.
I don't recommend cold messaging. Cold messaging to me is copy paste, send to, you know, 100 people at the same time. I do warm messaging. So what I consider warm messaging is something where I have created somewhat of a relationship. So like on Instagram, like I said, it can be that fast. I follow somebody, I like their pictures, I think they seem like a genuine person that I would like to get to know better, or that, you know, I want to ask them about joining my team. So then I'm going to immediately do that. That's okay. I think on Facebook, in my opinion, it works a little differently, where you build the relationship, you take a little bit more time to build that relationship. But you're still messaging those people. You're still, you know, getting to know them a little bit better. But yeah, I warm message all the time. People are not going to just come to you all the time. They do, but they're not going to just, you know, you post about the hair, skin, and nails and you have 10 people messaging you about it. That's not typically how it works. So, but you may have 30 people like that post and you're going to go to them and say, hey, is this something you want to try? You know?
Okay. So if somebody likes your post, then you go and message them. Is that what you're saying? Or people you already have a relationship with, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Typically I do. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So let's see. This question is for either leader. After you've sent an initial message to someone about the opportunity and they express an interest or say they don't really know what it is, but they've heard of it works. What do you say next? I tried a couple of different ways to begin the conversation, but I don't feel like it gets much response back. I try to keep it simple, etc. What is something that works for you? So if somebody, I'll go first and then Jess can add to it. If somebody expresses interest in the opportunity, I keep it simple too. I give them a little bit of information about what it is we do and how easy it is and how we make money. I tell them that we make anywhere from 15 to 40% off of what we do. And what else do I always just like write this. It's so easy to like for me to write things, but I don't have this conversation out loud with people as much. So let's see. Try to go a couple different ways to begin the conversation, but I don't feel like it gets much response back. I think Jess will agree with this too. It is about kind of saying not the right things. I mean, we can't all just copy and paste and say the right things, but you want to not word vomit on people, of course, and you want to give them enough information so that they're intrigued, but that, they're not overwhelmed. And, whether I remember even in the beginning, people want to know how much money can I make from this or whatever. And so in the beginning, I would tell people like I was at distributor level, but I would share, I always shared like, hey, my enroller made this much amount of money or makes this much money, and I'm working towards my Ruby bonus, or my Ruby promotion, which is an average of $499 a month. And, that's, to me, that's like, that wasn't lying because I was working towards my Ruby promotion. That was my goal. And I was bringing in fast start bonuses, and I was bringing in wrap cash, and I was making commissions, and that's what I was working towards. And so I let people know that's what I was working towards. And that was a part of my conversation. And, they're going to be people, it's a numbers game. They're going to be people that you talk with and they ignore you, or they don't respond for 6 months. I've had that. I'm sure Jess has had that, like distributors sign up a year later, they respond to you and you're like, you're just now seeing this, or, so it's a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the better you're going to get at communicating with people, and the higher the chance of getting somebody to respond to you. But, there isn't exact perfect wording. I think the key is just to be real and to, give them a little bit of information that gets them thinking, maybe this is something I want to do. And I always, after I give them that little initial, what is the right word? That little paragraph or whatever it is that I send back to them, I always ask at the end, I say something like, does that sound like something you'd be interested in? Because that way they have to respond, they have to, I already know they're going to say yes or no, or maybe, and I kind of know how to go from there. And from there I talk about, I get straight into it. I don't know, if other people are like this, but if somebody says yes, absolutely, then I let them know right then and there. I don't say in the first message, how much the opportunity is to get in. I don't put $99 in the first message. I want to know if they're really interested first. And then when they say yes, absolutely, then I tell them, it's $99 to get started. This is what your kit comes with. You get 4 wraps that you can sell and make your initial investment back. Plus you have me to help you every step of the way. I think that's a big thing. People want to know that they've got help in this and that they're not alone. And then I say, is that in your budget? And I just ask them, because I spent a lot of time, and we all have spent a lot of time talking with people, and then we are afraid to tell them how much this is going to cost them and afraid of what they'll say. And so we spend all this time and energy, and then eventually we're like, okay, this is what it costs. And then they're like, oh, well, I didn't know that. So I kind of get it out of the way in the beginning. It kind of weeds out who's serious and who's not. And they're either going to say, I don't have it right now, or they're going to say, yes, absolutely. And you move forward from there. So I don't know if Jess has anything different to add to that.
I think everybody does it a little different. I'm like crazy about questions. So when somebody says, if I'm messaging them and saying, have you ever thought about making extra money from home? And they're like, well, yeah, doing what? Then I'm just like, well, I work for a company called It Works Global. What have you heard about it? And then I wait for their response. And I always end on a question. I'm always getting the conversation moving. I'll say things like, how much would you need to make per month for this to be worth it to you? Or, have you ever thought of doing something like this? Does this sound like something you'd be interested in? So I'm like crazy about questions, but then I get to know these people, because if they sign up, I'm going to be, I have a relationship with them and I want to be able to help them. So then I know that they have 2 kids, they work a full-time job, they want to be home, they, whatever. Plus it's, when I'm following up with them, I'm like, I know you have these 2 kids at home. I know you really want this super bad. I know $99 is a lot. It was a lot for me. I try to relate. Is this something, are you willing to give up the $99 now in order to be financially free, or, something like that. So I'm crazy about questions, but I love the way that you do it too.
Is that, sorry, I hear coughing. I heard somebody coughing like that. Sorry. I love what you were saying too. I think that, once you're talking to somebody and you're asking them questions, like you said, what was it you said about, what did you say about asking them?
How much would you need to make per month?
Yes, that is always something I ask them too, because I think that it gets people thinking and, getting to know their reasons behind why they're wanting to join. Like, it's always ask those questions, always ask a question so they can think about this and they connect with it more that way, instead of just like bringing in extra income. Why do they want this? And like you said, if they sign up as a distributor later down the road, you already know their why. You already know why they started. You can motivate them more by saying, hey, you started for $1,500 a month so you could pay for daycare or pay for this or pay for that or whatever. Like, this is why you started, remember that. And so I think that stuff is super important, because people need to feel enough to find that $99, because most of us join because we don't have it, so I think that's really key.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was next? For me, I get nervous with expanding, meaning adding new people to my personal Facebook page or Instagram in fear of them being a creeper or something. I am normally a private person. How do you differentiate that fear from adding strangers to your page than from building your business, if it makes sense? Do you want to go first?
Okay. Yeah. I personally, this is my personal thing. I don't add men at all on my Facebook or Instagram, because in past experience, there has been some creepers, which is fine.
But not really fine.
Really not. But anyways, so I just don't add guys. I just don't. I also, if I see somebody who like has something on there that I don't approve of, they're immediately blocked or removed. But when I'm adding people on Facebook, I'm looking for people who are somebody I would want on my team. And then on Instagram, I follow, but I try really hard to look. If there's something that I don't want to be a part of, I'm just going to skip over that. And I was super scared of pretty much everything when I started. But when my upline told me this is something you need to do in order to grow your business, I just did it. And I didn't sit there and say, well, but I'm really scared. I'm really nervous about this. I just did it, because if it was going to grow it, that's great. And if, I had a problem with something later down the road, I could figure that out. I will deal with it when I get there. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think the same thing, like when I started with social media, especially, I was like, I'm just supposed to like go follow these random people, and it's something that we're not used to. We're like, what the heck? Like, what are they going to think of me? Are they going to, lots of us have different concerns. I have people that have been on my team that were, wanting to create a business page on Instagram or a business account or whatever, and, not share their real life. And, that's a personal decision by all means, but we need to share. I think most of us agree that we need to share how this business affects us personally. And that means being able to open up and like you said, we have total control. We can block the weird stuff. We can choose who we follow. Like I don't follow guys either. It's nothing against guys, but the majority of my business comes from women. It comes from other moms. And then I don't follow accounts where I have negativity on them of some sort, whether it's like profanity or whatever it is. And not that, not to judge anybody, but I feel like it's a lot easier in this business to start from a, more positive slate than to like completely build back up and have to get rid of all that stuff. And I just don't want that in my world. It's just negative. So, I think that we just have to have control over, to a degree of who we're following and not be weirded out by it. And like Jess said, if I don't have 100,000 friends in real life, so I needed to build my social media. And so when I saw that there are other people out there were doing this, I was like, well, I guess I'm going to follow and figure it out, like I'm just going to do it. And if it gets weird at some point, then we'll figure that out. But, you just get over yourself, really. I think that's what this business is about. So, okay. Did we answer that one? No. When adding people on Instagram, where do you go? Oh, wait, that's a private question. Hold on. Is that it? Did we answer everything?
There was one, let's see.
Oh, wait. How much time do you spend on each activity, meaning following, commenting, they keep moving, messaging daily? Is there a repetition of actions you do daily, I guess?
Yeah. Okay. Do you want me to answer this one?
Sure.
Okay. So I wake up a half hour to an hour before my kids, and I spend that time planning posts or messaging people back or whatever. And then after my kids go to bed, I spend a chunk of time doing the same thing, messaging, planning, whatever. Throughout my day, I'm doing my posts. I don't save my posts personally because I'm home. So I'm doing my posts, and when I'm posting, I'm also messaging people. So I'll spend, 15 minutes while my kids are eating lunch. I'll spend, 15 minutes while I'm cooking dinner or whatever. So I just kind of break it up throughout the day. And anything that's going to be income producing activity, I'll do. I don't have like a specific 15 minutes here, 15 minutes here, but I definitely do, spend chunks of time on all of those things.
And I think that mine's basically the same thing. I think if you're finding that you're not producing the results that you want, that you're probably not putting enough attention on the most important things, like following people to grow your network, talking to new people, following up. Following up is so big. I think we're all guilty of spending time sometimes doing things that aren't as income producing, liking our teammates' stuff. Liking your teammates' stuff is great to support them, but in all reality, we need to be focused on our own business and focusing on what is going to produce us more results. So if you feel like if you're not getting the kind of results that you need or that you want, there are probably certain places you need to put more effort into. And like mine, I do have certain time slots kind of for certain things. I try to follow for, maybe follow for 45 minutes or something every night, or follow for an hour, whatever I can do that night. It's not super strict like that, but you just kind of do those things throughout the day. And if you're not getting enough of it done, then maybe stay up 20 minutes longer, Yeah.
I will just add super quick. I loved when you said before about following your passion, and whatever you feel passionate about in the moment is, what you should be doing. So sometimes I'll be sitting outside with my kids and they'll be playing, and I'll just be sitting there thinking, I can't believe this is my life. This is so amazing. And that's that moment that I am going to get on Facebook and I'm going to write a post about how lucky I am to have this life. Or, I take the Confianza religiously because of what it does for me. So when I'm feeling stressed out and I take my Confianza and it chills me out, I'm passionate about that. So that's when I'm going to post about that. Or, I need to tell people about this. This is crazy. Whatever your passion is telling you to do, do it.
Yes. Totally. I feel like that's how my business is too. It's like, and sometimes you get, I don't know, I get like this, I'm like, all of a sudden 3 things hit me at once and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to do this and I got to do this and I got to do this. And then there are other times where I'm like, I'm not feeling something as strongly right then. So maybe I'm going to pour into, following people or something and doing that activity for my business. But yeah, I think that our feelings definitely, I think that they have to kind of lead us in this business because they are what drives us, so I love that too. And I thought there was another question. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay. When adding people on Instagram, where do you go to find people to add? Walk me through how a day of growing your Instagram network would go step by step. I'll answer what I do real quick. I mean, it's basic. I mean, my profile is on private. I tried public out for a few months and I went back to private. It's on private. So what I do is I search hashtags of local places around me or things that I'm interested in, hobbies I have, whatever it is. If it's something like food related that I'm interested in or something to do with my kids or whatever activity, any kind of hashtags, things that you are connected with already. Hold on, my startup just goes full again. Oops. And I search those hashtags and then I, go into those hashtags and I find people. I try to follow people that have less followers. Like, I find that the best followers to have are people that have like under 500, I mean, it can be, I have people that have 1,000, but I try to stick in that lower range because lots of times there are people that haven't heard about It Works yet, or they don't have 100 or not 100, but they don't have 4 or 5 distributors following them. So I try to stick with people that have less followers and, no profanities or no this or no that in their profile, no negativity. And I follow those people. And if I find a good person in there to follow, then I'll go into their followers and follow those people. So I try to stick to hashtags. I mean, I do follow my followers from time to time too. I also will go down my feed and, I go down my feed and like the pictures in there multiple times a day, but I will go to each picture and say that picture has 15 likes or 50 likes. And I will follow those people that liked it because I know that they're actively using Instagram, as opposed to, somebody that had an account and posted in 2013, so that's what I do.
Yeah, I do the same thing. And like, we want to get interaction on our posts. So like with my kids, we do crafts all the time, like toddler crafts or whatever. So I'll go through and like other people, like I'll follow those people because when they see my post, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is such a great idea. I'm going to do this with my kids. So I think, yeah, following people that are in similar places or doing similar things as you is super helpful too. And then I message on Instagram every day.
And the other thing is too, when you're following people, make sure that you're, obviously if their account is private, we can't like their pictures and comment because it's private when we're requesting to follow. But if they're public, make sure that you go in there and you like some of their pictures or, you comment on one of them and try to be genuine with your comments. You don't want to just be saying that's cute or, whatever it is, you don't want to be giving generic things. I try to comment with stuff like that will evoke a response, or somebody will be like, oh, this person's actually interested, not just like fishing for business. Cause that's not what we're doing. We're trying to make friends. As silly as that sounds, that's what we're doing. And the better you get at making friends and the better you get at being real and, standing out, the more people are going to, relate with you. So, is that all that we had? How do you keep yourself organized with follow-ups? I think that's the last one we're going to do because it's getting pretty late.
I know.
Jess, you want to go on that one or?
Yeah, sure. So I have a growing potentials list of potential people that are very serious about the business or becoming a customer. So I do have that list, but I I feel like I used to try to write down all of these people's names and everyone's I'd been messaging, and it was too much and I wasn't making money doing it. So I will go through like my text messages, my Instagram messages, my Facebook, and I will go through and follow up with those people. So even though they aren't written down, I'm still going to be following up with them. And then the people that I'm very serious about, or that are very serious about, getting started, those are on a list that I'm going to, be excited about. Those are people I want on my team. So that's kind of how I do it.
Okay.
So really organized.
I'm not even going to answer that one because Jess did it a good answer. because there were some other questions somebody wanted to answer real quick. So when adding on Facebook, how do you add, since it's not really hashtags and whatnot? What is the system you use? And I will be honest, I am mostly on Instagram, and I get my people from Instagram over to Facebook. So I'm not a huge source for adding on Facebook.
Oh, I can help. I love Facebook so much. So I love mom groups, and anything like, if you have a favorite football team, find a group that's their thing. I love toddler crafts. I'm in groups with toddler crafts. I'm, whatever. And I'm constantly adding those people, and constantly, somebody posts in a mom group about how their kid is potty training. Okay, great. I'm actually potty training too. And then I'll add them and I will message them. So I'm constantly building those relationships.
Okay, so wait, I have a quick question. Okay. So if you add them, then you instantly message them? Because I've heard a lot of people say that. And, are you instantly messaging them after you add them? And what are you saying to people?
It depends on the person. Like if they had been just posting in a mom group about potty training and I'm doing the same thing, then I'm going to go message them and be like, hey, I had a quick question for you. I'm potty training. What are you doing? What's your method? If I have something to say to them. Otherwise, I'm just liking and commenting on a few of their things so they know I'm there and I want to be their friend.
Yeah. So you're not pushing business down their throat by any means. You're just making relationships, and
they're going to start seeing my posts. And eventually I'm going to message them and ask them what's going on, or, if they want to have anything to do with the business or whatever. So, and I do get people that are like messaging me, do I know you? Like, I feel like everyone gets those. And at first I was like mortified. Oh my gosh, no, I just added you randomly. But now I'm just like, I'm just on this mom group with you, and I thought you looked like somebody I would really like to get to know, just trying to find new friends. And they're mostly fine with it.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest lesson in this business is like, we just have to get over it. Like we have to get over ourselves and these little fears, like putting these thoughts in our head about what is this person going to think? And most of the time they're not thinking the things that we think they're thinking anyway,
Yeah.
So I think that it's huge, just getting out of our comfort zone and realizing that these are the things that we have to do in order to reach our goals. Cause like nobody's going to do it for us,
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's it, really. I don't know if we missed any questions or not, but it's late. So did we miss any?
I don't think so.
We're going to let Jess go inside because she's like in the complete dark. I did record this. I'm still trying to get my recording from last week up, but I will try to get this to you guys as soon as I can within the week. So I guess that's it. Thank you for, doing this with us and having your team with us. And
thank you.
It was a lot of fun. I hope we can do it in the future. And I hope you guys love Jess as much as I do and are inspired by her, because that's the reason why we did this. We want to show you guys like how many people are out here, how many people are having success with this, and that we're no different than you. And it's just great to share stories and get to know our teams and form connections, because that's what this is all about. So I guess that's it, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we will see you later. Thanks for joining us. Bye.